Today is Wednesday, January 20th. This is the 1968 Cadillac Deville Convertible tilt and telescopic steering column for my friend Stan, Pennsylvania. This is a full level 10 restoration whereby the unit has been completely disassembled and the wiring harness rewired. The internal shifting tube and yokes have been climatized and surface treated. The upper and lower head bearings have been changed out and repacked, as well as the lower spline bearing. Okay, so the unit has been completely restored. It includes the half-round spherical balls, fully lubricated, as well as the telescopic neck with infinite movement. And I'm going to do a functional validation test now. This is the third and final video out of a 3-video set showing the full completed final assembly, painted individually for each of the exterior components in the original Cadillac 1968 366 trim coat for dark blue, which is a consistent and period correct color scheme for the interior of the 1968 Cadillac Deville Convertible. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and test is the 5 degrees of freedom in the tilting head. So this is the full up position, which we can see from the side. Okay. Partial up. Neutral. Partial down. Partial down. And full down. And one of my trademarks is the polished conical ball at the intersection of the tilt location. And now we're back to neutral. And of course, quarter of a turn has the infinite degrees of freedom for the telescopic neck. And quarter of a turn tightens it up wherever you choose to have it applied based on the user-specific requirement. Okay, quarter of a turn tightens it up. So we've tested the telescopic neck, we've tested the 5 degrees of freedom for the tilting feature, and now we're going to go ahead and test the electricals. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over. All right, and this is the wiring harness here on the bottom. And I'll go ahead and connect it to power. And change my lever from the tilting area to the turn signal area. I'm using the same lever for the purposes of this demonstration. Obviously, the turn signal lever is much longer. So I'll go ahead and put the signal down since I'm upside down. Okay, that would be indicative of a right-hand turn. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to touch the wires that are specific to the right-hand turn, which is the green and the dark blue and green for the right-hand turn, consistent with the original design intent scheme. And now we'll go ahead and actuate it to bring the lever back to neutral. And there it is. Now we'll make a left-hand turn. And I'll touch the black and yellow. And the light bulb comes on. And the black and blue. And the light bulb comes on, consistent with the left-hand turn. And while we're here, we'll go ahead and do the cornering lamps. Left-hand turn. And now we'll touch the other side. Right-hand turn on the cornering lamp. So we've tested the turn signals, left and right, front and rear, as well as the cornering lamps, left and right. And now the last thing we have to test is the emergency hazard. And I'll go ahead and press the emergency hazard button. Go ahead and push that down. as such. And now we'll go ahead and we'll touch all the wires that come on consistent with the emergency hazard light, which is all 5 wires. It includes the braking light, the right front, the left front, the right rear, the left rear. So all 5 of the lights come on in the emergency hazard mode. Okay, then I'll go ahead and turn the spline. And we pop back to neutral, disengaging the hazard. And the last thing I'm going to test is the horn. Horn being this last wire over here on the wiring harness. And I'll touch the copper for the horn actuating ring. And we can see that the light bulb comes on down here. Okay, so that is the horn. So we've tested the turn signals front and rear. We've tested the cornering lamps left and right. We've tested the turn signals left and right, and we've tested the horn, and we've tested the emergency hazard switch. We've also tested the 5 degrees of freedom for the tilting and the infinite movement for the telescopic neck. So that's the functional validation test for the 1968 Cadillac Deville Convertible tilt and telescopic steering column in the original period correct 366 dark blue. And this will be going to my friend Stan in Pennsylvania. Today is Wednesday, January 20th. This is George in Florida. I have over 75,000 original vintage parts for the 1967 to 1970 Cadillacs, over 250,000 1959 to 1978 Cadillac items overall. I'm best known for my restoration of the Cadillac steering wheels from 69 to 78 with the wood grain inlay, including the one-year-only 1969 rim blow steering wheels, as well as the 67 and 68 Cadillac steering wheels with the 682 grip lines in the front face perimeter. Okay, I am also provide full restoration of the power seat mechanisms, the instrument clusters, and other difficult, hard-to-source original vintage Cadillac components. This is George in Florida. Today is Wednesday, January 20th. Thank you very kindly.